So hello students, welcome to EduTap and welcome to another lecture of ARD static series. Here we are discussing about the phase 2 of NABARD examination. Today we will be covering lecture 8, that is the plantation and horticulture, and in this particular topic we are discussing another very important part, that is post harvest management. So every year question has been come. This year we also see in both shifted the question were there. So we will be discussing this particular topic. Okay, so let's start our lecture, but before that again I have an announcement for you. So those of you who have missed the announcement in the last lecture can know that, see, we have brought a book for you, a comprehensive book for you, and this particular book will help you to manage or to understand that where you can find all the knowledge about the NABARD examination. Okay, this particular book, as you can see, contain all the knowledge that is there to know about the NABARD examination. This book has been comprehended very beautifully. Okay, the print, you can see how attractive the print is. The information has been very concise, so you can find it all right here. Okay, so let's start our lecture. So there seems to be a little bit difficulty in the exam. So let me just recheck what's the problem is. So seems like the problem is gone. So let's start our lecture. Okay, so as you can see, the book is here, and if you had any query, any question regarding NABARD, how you should prepare, what kind of trend the questions are there, what should be your strategy, what book you should carry. So this, you don't have to go source by source, video by video, wasting your time in searching all these. Everything has been comprehended in this particular book. It has been summarized very beautifully. Okay, and this book will also encourage you to prepare for your NABARD examination. So this is very beneficial. I hope you will download it. To download this particular book, you can find the link in the description box. Go check the book, download the PDF. You'll be able to find all the knowledge of NABARD examination. See, so that is that. Now that out of the way, let's start our lecture. So as you can see, our first question is, which of the following, again we are talking about the post harvest management, especially about the fruits and the vegetables. Okay, so this is our topic, and our first question come here. So the question says, which of the following is correct? In cap, you cannot control what happened after the product has been packed and the respiration continues. In map, you can make alteration to the storage condition of the packing during its lifespan. Then curing is used as the protective coating for fruits and vegetable and help in reduction in the loss in moisture and rate of respiration. Then A and B problem is either A and B are correct or none of the above is correct. So you will have to tell here which of the given statement is correct. Okay, so let's see who can answer this question. See here again, this cap is control atmospheric packaging. This map is modify atmospheric packaging. Okay, so when we talk about the atmosphere, so here by atmosphere we mean the kind of environment that is coming in the direct contact of our product. So let's say the product of concern is our apple that you have harvested. So what kind of environment will be around or in the contact of the apple is your controlled environment. Okay, so here we will see ki out of the given situation, see these are the different method by which you can protect your product. So here the answers start coming. So most of you are answering option D, and that will not be correct. The correct answer is none of the above, because see what happened. You'll have to understand the term controlled and modified, but before discussing, let's see what are some different topic. Okay, so these are some terminology that you will straight see. We will further discuss what are different steps that are taking, and we will elaborate those steps too. Okay, but these are to your understanding, because waxing, curing, you will see this term getting changed, okay, or getting used. So you should have a basic idea what waxing is, what curing is, evaporative cool storage, and pre-packing, what are these. So waxing, as the term suggests, we are using a wax and using it as a coat. Now what will happen by application of this coat? Respiration will be controlled. So we will discuss the waxing in elaborate manner, so don't worry about that. So curing, again we will discuss it in the elaborated manner, but here you'll have to see what we do. We are reducing the loss of the post-harvest loss, okay, here, and particularly in the tuber crop this is used, okay, when we are talking about the curing. Talking about the evaporative cool storage. So here the simple phenomena is whenever the evaporation is going on, due to evaporation the cooling happens, and this cooling can help you control temperature, and then further will help you to store or to increase the storage life of your product. Then pre-packaging before packaging. The word itself is self-explanatory. Then you can see control the rate of transpiration and respiration before you are packing your product. If you do that during packaging and after packaging, your product quality will be better. Moving to the other terms, so cold storage is there. Again, you are storing in a very low temperature, that is cold storage. You can see these are the structure. Okay, these are infrastructure built only to store your product. Okay, especially in the case of perishable commodities, these are cold storages are used. So modified atmospheric packaging, here we will discuss the word itself. Okay, we will understand the terminology. I think no problem, Sunny. See, you can make as much as mistake you want here. Okay, and you will see कि once you have here you have discussed and understand the difference between map and cap, you won't be able to forget it. Okay, you will always get the answer correct once you have understood it. So now we are moving to the term modified atmospheric packaging and controlled atmospheric packaging. See, one thing you have to know is in modified, that means you are once modifying it. Modify means changing it. So let's say you have paper and you have made a plane out of it. So this is particularly changed. So you have once changed the atmosphere and then you are not disturbing that packaging. Suppose at the time of, let's say you are packing an apple, and we all know nitrogen, oxygen and carbon dioxide concentration is there, but you are replacing the natural atmosphere that is there. You are replacing it by, let's say you are adding 80% CO2, then 19% nitrogen, then 1% oxygen, 99% nitrogen and 1% oxygen. Let's say there can be any combination, but modified atmospheric packaging you will only do once. Then you won't be disturbing your product or altering. Any kind of alteration will not be allowed in case of modified atmospheric packaging. We will come to this particular temperature why it is needed, but for now let's move to the controlled atmospheric packaging. So here the word means that you are controlling the atmosphere packaging or the atmosphere of the material that you have stored. That means, let's say we all know the product that you have stored is completely or will always be respiring. Okay, some internal reaction are that going on. Some oxidants are there that are utilizing your antioxidants. Oxidants are there that are consuming the oxygen and free radicals are getting formed. So what will happen in that case? See, your O2 is continuously getting consumed. So what will happen in MAP after a while? So initially you have done 80, 90, 99 and 1. You will see that after, let's say, 3 weeks, the concentration will differ. Let's say CO2 will be a different, let's say it is 28%, it will not be this much, but let's say N2 is your somewhat maintained, let's say it will be again, let's say 29, though it is not possible, so not 19%, let's say it is 18%, and some other free radical has been formed, it has been disintegrated, some ammonia has been formed, this kind of reaction happen. Okay, but what will happen in your modified atmospheric packaging, after a while your desirable atmosphere is changed. Okay, but what will happen in the case of controlled atmospheric packaging? Whatever you desire, let's say you are desiring the CO2 should be maintained at 80%, then you are saying N2 should be maintained at 10%, then you are saying O2 will be maintained at 2%. After some while, let's say CO2 is being 60%, then N2 is again your 10%, but your O2 has been disturbed and it has been increased, let's say 30% it is. So what will happen if now this is the atmosphere that is not desirable for you? So what you will do, you will replace it and maintain it 80, 10, 10 again. Okay, so you can make changes again and again in controlled atmospheric packaging. It means you are controlling the atmosphere for the whole storage life, but in the modified atmospheric packaging you are not disturbing the product once it has been packed. That is why if you want to increase the shelf life of MAP or the modified atmospheric packaging, you also need to incorporate temperature condition. Okay, you need to lower the temperature in that case if you are storing your product by the packaging of MAP. Then there is cold chain. So here cold chain, what is happening, there are different let's say infrastructure are there, and these are particularly will provide have low temperature facilities. So what you are doing, whenever you are transporting the product, you are transporting it through a chain. So that is your cold chain handling system, especially important for horticultural products, because your horticultural crops are usually perishable crops. Okay, so again, before starting I usually tell, but if your query is not related to the topic that we are discussing, I'll take your query at the end of the video. Okay, so I hope that is okay with you. But let's say you don't have time to understand the whole lecture, do let me know that. In that case, I'll explain it on the spot. But to maintain the flow of the lecture, what we will do, we will take the queries that are not from the lecture at the end of the video. Okay, we will have 5 minutes of the discussion for that kind of queries. See, usually adult packing and packaging are similar kind of terms, but what we do when we are saying packing, okay, when we are saying packaging, we are, let's say this is an apple and you are packaging this particular product, then this is this, you are packing this, then this is this, you are packing this. But when these three apples will be packed together, and for a singular unit you will use term packaging, and when your singular unit are getting transferred together, you will say the word packing. That is a term, but usually they are interchangeable. There is not much difference. Okay, the basic difference is that much. Moving to the steps of post harvesting. Now we will study these steps one by one. Okay, we will further discuss it, and you will find these all steps being very important for your examination. Okay, so here we will discuss first of all pre-cooling. So this we will not focus on because see what we are doing in the, so method and all is there, but not much question come from this particular topic, so I have keep it concise. So pre-cooling, what you are doing before transferring your product, let's say you have just harvested your product, some farm heat is there. It means since again you have you harvested your product at 30-degree temperature, atmospheric temperature. So what will happen, your product usually used to grow at the temperature, let's say 24, but due to this atmospheric change or the summer temperature that the outside atmosphere have, it will have some effect, and this is your farm heat. So when we are removing this farm heat, that become your pre-cooling. So here your product is actually not getting packed or getting in the final form of storage. What is happening, usually in pre-cooling temperature, your farm product before cleaning, washing and all these steps, it is getting supported at the low temperature. Now what will happen as a effect of that, see, after harvesting, it is very important that at every step you preserve your product as much as possible. Okay, even in the pre-cooling step, you will see how huge difference has been made if your you suddenly or at low waste of time you will store your product at low temperature, or if you will take more time, the product quality will deteriorate. Okay, now let's move to the second step, but before that we will take a look at the question so you can understand. So here the question is, the concentration of chlorine in water used for the washing is how much? So these are your option: 10 to 20 ppm, 30 to 60 ppm, 50 to 80 ppm, 70 to 100 ppm, 100 to 150 ppm. So whenever we are doing washing, cleaning, or at any step we are taking the water, usually what we do, we take chlorinated water. Okay, you will see we will take chlorinated water many times. That is why it is important we should know what is the concentration, so that there is no residue left. Okay, final product में residue नहीं होने चाहिए. That is why we are taking this particular step. But usually for sanitization purpose, for everything, chlorinated water has been taken. That means chlorine has been added in a gas form, or let's say in a tablet form in the water. So the answers started coming. So E option has been answered by Rajeshwari. Very good. So I think most people are confused about that. No worries, we will understand that. That is absolutely correct. 100 to 150. 100 to 150 will be the correct answer when we are talking about the washing of the product. See, washing is a very harsh step. See, because it is not the final product and after washing nothing will happen. So we can take a little strong concentration here. Okay. So 100 to 150 ppm will be there. Now discussing the steps that are pre-cooling, we have seen field heat we should do after quick cooling should be done before we are going to further enhance the harvesting step, sorry, post harvest step. So moving to the cleaning and washing, now what will happen, you will take water at a concentration 100 to 150, but you should also see that the pH should be near neutral. It means 6.5, 7.5 is okay, around that pH should be maintained, and this should be the chlorinated water concentration. Then you should also see what will happen after cleaning and washing. First of all, your dirt, stain, insect, mold, the egg of the insect, whatever impurities are there that you don't want in your product will be gone because you have washed it. Then because of that, the shelf life of the product is extended. Now why is that? See, insect will be removed, that means your product is safe. Molds are removed, it means the mold getting occur in your final product is lower. Then dirt and stain lower your market value. Okay, it's not like a mitti laga hua product you see and you are like, okay, this is the best. Okay, you always want the good product. So again, that is why shelf life will be extended. Now talking about the dressing. In dressing, what we do, the non-marketable parts are removed. Okay, dressing in any case, even in the case of animal and others, you will see dressing, why we do, remove, trim, cut the undesirable part. If you are talking about the leaves, if you are talking about the plants, so in that case, stem, leaves, stalk, whatever root there is, uneatable product that we are removing. Okay, this is called dressing. So dressing, what it will do, it will increase your market value of the product. So talking about the water spray. What is water spray? So what happens, some leafy vegetables are there, okay, some products are there, they have high respiration rate, and you want to save the temperature, okay, you want to protect them, and you also want to reduce the rate of evaporation that is going on through the leaf. So what you will do, you will cover your vegetable through a gunny sack soaked in the cold water. So you are controlling the temperature as well as the evaporation that is going on, okay, when we are talking about the water spray. So you can see what will happen, as in the case, your product will seem fresh before selling. You have usually seen what people do whenever they are selling your product, the hawker and all, when they sell their fruit, they usually spray the water over their fruit. So that is why, to control evaporation as well as to maintain the temperature of your food, so that it could look attractive, okay, as well as it will have good value, it will seem fresh. So moving to our next question, which of the following statement is correct? So these are the 5 statements that are given. First one say, when root and tuber are to be stored for a long period, curing is necessary. Then the other one say, during curing, what will happen? Periderm over the cut broken skin surface will grow. Curing in potato start with the deposition of suberin in parenchymatous cell just below the damaged area. So these are related to your curing step. So you will have to tell which one of the following step is correct. Okay, so do let me know. So now we will understand what the curing process is. I have told you this is usually go in the tuber crop. Okay, this usually go in the tuber crop. Tuber or roots crop, that means yam, potato. So in all those crops, we will see the curing process going on. So Rajeshwari is going with the option E, that is all of the above. Okay, and that is absolutely correct. The correct answer is all of the above, because these all steps that are given are related to the curing. So what we will do, we will not waste repeating those steps. We will understand what curing is and what are the important fact about the curing. So as you can see, curing, what you are doing, at high temperature and relative humidity you are keeping the product. What will happen as an effect of that? See, whenever you are harvesting a product, some wounds are there, some cut are there that affect the plant. So now what happened in this cut and in these wounds, we see the fungal attack, the bacterial attack being very high. So we need to heal them. So what will happen? We have discussed the second point. So what will happen? Over the periderm will develop, okay. When we are talking about the potato, the suberin will occur here. So because of that, the cut will get healed, or like in our skin, what happens when there is a cut, a scab occurs. So it's similar kind of condition that will happen in that case. So you can see the optimum condition of curing when we are talking about the vegetable. So different conditions are there. You can pause the video or you can download the PDF from the Telegram and find these all points, okay. So moving to the next question now. Question number 4 asks you, which of the following is the drying of onion carried out in the field and involved pulling the bulb from the ground, laying them in the ground in the small heap for 1 to 2 weeks. So these are your options. So here we are talking about the onion, okay, and in onion we are doing the drying. So in a special case that is given here, you will have to see which term is used, okay. So windrowing, threshing, curing, dehydration and pre-cooling are your option. Do let me know. So we have discussed the pre-cooling. I think everybody will be able to guess it कि pre-cooling answer नहीं हो सकता. Okay, because we are not removing some kind of heat or decreasing the temperature that will help to release the heat in case of onion that we are talking about. So Rajeshwari is going with the curing step. Okay. So, see, this step will be known as windrowing, which is a part of curing, but we can't exactly call it curing. Now, we will understand why. See, curing, what is that? Sorry, no, it will not be curing because, okay, I'll tell the difference why you are getting confused. So, windrowing is basically your drying. So we will discuss it how drying and curing sometimes get confused. So we will discuss it. Okay. So drying, let's say for fruits and vegetable, and do what we are doing, we are removing the water, but we are doing it in a natural condition. That means we are either using sun or we are using air. That means atmosphere. So this is the difference between your drying and dehydration. Dehydration, you can use dehydrators too. Okay, machine you can use. So, but when we are talking about drying, we are talking about the air and sunlight that we are using to support our product. So now what will happen as a effect of that? Water content will lower, due to which the microorganism growth will be controlled and the action of enzyme, the autolysis process that is going on in our product will be controlled. Then drying of onion and garlic is special. Why? Because it doesn't mean involve uniformity. We don't want our product to be dried from inside out. Okay, we just want the outside ki layer jo hai, that should be dried. So that is the case. As in the case of dehydration, only dehydration, but drying only in the outer layer. So again, I have told you one difference between drying and dehydration. Drying means natural conditions are there. Dehydration, we can take the help of the machine. But one more thing is there. In dehydration, when we talk about, the product will be uniformly. It means every layer of the product, either vertically or horizontally, will get dried at an equal rate. But when we are talking, in dehydration that will happen. But when we are talking about the drying, what will happen? The outer layer, okay, the layer that is in direct contact with the outer atmospheric surface, that will get dried first. Then further, depending on the time, the other layer will slowly get dried. Then what happens? Sometimes this similar process get confused with the curing. But one thing you will have to understand when we are talking about curing, what is happening in the curing? Cell regeneration is there, that we have discussed. Okay, if any cut is there, the cell are getting there and filling that cut. So if that is not happening, that will not be called as curing. So one thing you should remember, the difference between curing and drying come from this particular topic. Okay, so cell regeneration, if it is there, then it is curing. If cell regeneration is not there, then it is drying. Okay, then drying of onion, you can see this particular third point. Then in the case of onion, we say windrowing can be done. What is windrowing? You are uprooting it and keeping it in the field to be dried. Then when the ground is wet, how you will do the curing? It is pack it house. You will take 7 to 10 days. You will let it expose. Okay, and 30 degrees Celsius and 70% relative humidity should be maintained in the case of drying. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Okay, before that we will discuss degreening too. So degreening is another step. Usually the step is followed in the citrus fruit. So what is degreening? So it's a post-harvest treatment. What we are doing under ethylene. Under a controlled ethylene condition, what you are doing, you are removing the green color that is not desirable. Okay, when we talk about the, let's say, oranges, when we are talking about the mosmi, we want the fruit that is colored, okay, and that is not green, that is a little yellow, orange, red. So that kind of condition. So how you can do it? You need to remove the green color. That you will do with the help of the ethylene gas. So degreening, chlorophyll degradation will be allowed by the release of the ethylene gas. As we can see, yellow coloring happen in the citrus fruit. Now beside that, degreening can be done with another step. So first we have read about the ethylene. You can see the condition, the temperature should be there, the relative humidity should be there. Okay, gas, how much should be there, what should be the concentration of gas, and what is the time. So for degreening, you will have to remember the temperature, relative humidity, what is the condition, concentration, and what is the time period. So after that, there is artificial coloring too. Let's say the sun is not there, or due to unconducive condition, what will happen, your orange color has not been developed. In that case, what you will do, you will do color add on, that in which you will add a color, you will dip a color, you will let the color get collected in the outer skin. Okay, what will happen if you dip the color and then you dip it in the water, the color will be transferred to water rather than transferring to the fruit. So you will let the color get concentrate on the skin of the fruit. That will help you to gain the orange color that you are lacking in your fruit. So after that, your market value of the fruit will increase. So that is degreening. Now let's move to the next question. So dash is a method of heating fruit with the air saturated with the water vapor, humidified by the injection of steam at a temperature 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. Now you have to tell which is the process that we are talking about. Your option are hot water treatment, vapor heat treatment, per-boiling treatment, curing, or none of the above. Again, we have discussed curing. Since no cell regeneration is there, it can't be curing. Okay. So will it be drying? No, it won't be drying, because we are not exposing the particular product to the heat, let's say, or sun or the air conditions. So air and heat is not there, so it can't be drying. So among these options, let me know what will be the answer. So Rajeshwari has given the absolutely correct answer. That will be vapor heat treatment. Very good. Okay, discussing this particular, okay, Thinker has also given the correct answer, vapor heat treatment. So discussing these two methods, what are these methods that we further can take on? So after we have dried or done everything with the product, some product, what we do in that case, we do either hot water treatment or we do vapor heat treatment. Now what is the difference? See, in hot water treatment, you have taken a water at a very high temperature. Okay, Rathod and Sunny has also provided the correct answer. So you are dipping the product in the hot water, that becomes your hot water treatment. Okay, so what will happen? So basically this is to control the disease, to control the insect infestation. Okay, talking about the vapor heat treatment, as you can see what we do in there. So we are taking, as the name suggests, the help of the vapor. So this vapor, what they will do, they will transfer the heat. So vapor is carrying the heat, it will transfer the heat, and the internals of the fruit will become or reach to a temperature 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. Now because of that, the insect will of course be killed, the larvae will be killed, and this is a step that is allowed in the quarantine system too. Okay, so specifically it is to control the insect, as you can see, and the temperature and the exposure is adjusted. Okay, all step of the fruit fly you can see. Now this hot water treatment is basically, at first it was grown for the fungi. Okay, now it is so now it is used for both insect and the fungi, but the generation of this particular method was for the fungi. So this is the table that is given for different crop, what temperature should be there, what hot water treatment, what duration should be there for there to dip. Okay, dip it. So what you are taking the water, dipping the fruit, that is your hot water treatment. In vapor, what you are doing, you are carrying the fruit and let the vapor pass through it. So, okay, that is your vapor heat treatment. Again, both of these are for the insect, but this one is also for the fungi. Moving to the next question. So which of the following is a sprout suppressant? So CIPC, ethylene, auxin, tocopherol, or all of the above. These are your options. So here we know that sprout, they are a very big problem for your product. Let's say we are talking about the ginger, we are talking about the potato. So what happen after a time of storage? Starting with they will be good, but after a time, if favorable condition are there, good humidity is there, good sunlight is there, what happen? They start going bud-like structure, okay, or the sprout-like structure in their product. Now because of that, these products become highly undervalued in the market. Okay, they are undesirable product. Why? Because see, these will help you, these will first of all to grow, that they will take moisture from your product, and as we know, if the product lose its moisture, it become rubbery like structure. Okay, texture is getting affected, the taste is getting affected. Sometimes they releases some enzyme that deteriorate the taste of the product too. So these products become highly unvalued, okay, highly undesirable. So Rajeshwari is going with the option A. Do let me know other student too. So as we are discussing, so that is why it is very important for your vegetables to be free from this particular sprout problem. Okay, Sunny, we will discuss it at the end of the video, but for now let's focus on this particular topic. I can see Abhishek is also going with the option A, and that is absolutely correct. CIPC is the chemical that is used for the sprout suppressant. Okay, so so we can see, first of all, let's discuss the disinfection. So we have discussed how chlorinated water is used. Okay, chlorinated water is used, but in case of what happened in most, first of all, you should understand that fungi require pH of this. Now talking about bacteria, they usually go for neutral pH, but some can grow below the pH of 4.52, but that is a usual problem. So in bacteria, when we talk about vegetable and fruit, bacteria is lesser of a problem than the fungi. Usually what we see, our product is getting affected by the fungi. So what we can do to control it, we can use some chemicals. Okay, these chemicals are chlorine and sulfur dioxide. So we have read about the chlorine when we are doing the washing, but when we are talking about the disinfection, we can go from 50 to 200 ppm. So do remember the concentration and the number of microorganisms, how they are initially present, that can be also controlled. But this control only work if your product hasn't been come in the direct contact of the pathogen. But if the pathogen is already there, because of that this will not be able to control. Okay, if the mold is already there, for some time this growth will be suppressed, but after that it will come again. So you will have to see कि जैसे ही product is coming there after washing and all, the product is getting disinfected at the end too. Now we are moving to the sprouting. So as I have told you, in the root and tuber like structure, after a time when the condition is good, they get sprouted. Okay, so commercially what we can do, first of all, mechanically we can remove it. Okay, we can give the condition, we can keep it in the cold condition too. So mechanically we can keep it in, let's say, 6 degrees Celsius. So that will help to control the sprouting in the potato. But beside that, there is a chemical that is CIPC, that is your 3-chloroisopropyl and phenyl carbamate. So this particular product is applied in the powdered form. Okay, and in a very low condition, it also helps in the sprout, controlling the sprout problem in the potato. Okay, so that was about the sprouting. Moving to the next question, which of the following can be used in reducing the astringency? So these are your options. So what is astringency? We will explain it. Okay, astringency is basically undesirable mouth feeling that you get when you are consuming a product that contain high amount of chemical, basically tannins. Okay, so tannins are highly undesirable, and if your product is raw, has not been properly matured, you will find this particular problem. So discussing this astringency and how you can remove it, these are your options. Can we treat it with ethylene? Can we treat it with a high level of CO2? Should we do wax coating, irradiation, or both A and B? Do let me know the answer. If you don't know the answer, no problem. Do let me know that. Okay, if anybody know any fact about astringency, you can let us know that too. Okay. So most of you seems to give the answer both A and B. See, when we are talking about the astringency, what is astringency and why it is a problem? So astringency usually happens because the product has not been ripe. But the first thing is why you have harvested your product. Okay, unripe product, because that was the demand. The consumer don't want the ripe product. So treatment of ethylene can be removed from the options. Okay. So talking about this astringency, so correct answer will be your treatment with high level of CO2. Now what is this astringency that we are talking about? We will move to that, but before that, let's take a quick look at the waxing. So as we have discussed at the earlier point too, what is waxing? You are taking a wax, you are preparing a coating and you are coating your product. So the things you should know, I think everybody will be able to guess the answer from the term itself. We are applying the wax, application of wax is waxing. So first of all, you should know that naturally in the fruits and vegetables, there's a waxing layer. But when we are doing washing, okay, repeatedly we are exposing them to different conditions. Because of that, the natural wax layer get ripped off. Now what will happen? Your product is again vulnerable to many things. So what you will do to protect that? Again, the transpiration rate get increased, the respiration rate get increased, and this will be the problem, since it will cause a continuous aging and will decrease the shelf life of your soil. So what you will do? You will prepare a layer on your own and will apply that to the product. Now this layer can be prepared by spray waxing. That means you are completely spraying it. Okay, dipping, it means you are preparing a solution and you are dipping your product in that. Now foam waxing, what you do, a foamer is there, that foam like structure is there, okay, is prepared. Now that foam is covered, is you allowed to cover your product. Now after evaporation, all the water will be removed and only the product will be there, and a very thin layer will be provided. Okay, so that is why it is very good. Now flooding, what you do, when you have a lot of product, you will take the product in that and you will do spray, okay, you will allow the product to be flood. So whatever wax you are taking, you will allow it to flood, they will coat. So it is a kind of dipping, like it is a kind of dipping, but it is used when the product quantity is very high. Now let's move to the astringencies. First of all, you should know that astringency is something you don't want in your product. So when your product have high amount of tanning, due to what, due to their young plucking or young harvesting, so that means the tannin has not been completely removed from the product. As such, we can see in that happen in the red grain, blackthorn, quince, parmesans. So in the banana skin, so these tannins occur in these food. So what you will do, if you consume the product that has a tannin, so what will happen, your mouth will feel very dry like, okay, and that is highly undesirable. So because of that, what we can do, we can treat it with high level of CO2 and spray it with the alcohol, and it will help us to reduce the astringency that is there in the product. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Astringency, what we will do, we will treat it with the high level of CO2. The other thing you can do, alcohol is there. Okay, you can spray it with the alcohol. That will also help you to remove the astringency. Moving to the next question, which of the following is most commonly used in irradiation? So cobalt 60, cesium 137, uranium, technetium 99. These are your options. Do let me know what will be the correct answer, or is it all of the above? See, we all know what is irradiation. By you are exposing your food product to the ionizing radiation. Okay. Now what it will do, these ionizing radiation, they will disrupt the DNA of your DNA of the pest that or the insect, okay, or even the DNA of the product too. So that is why if the product has the problem of sprouting, that will also be checked when we are doing the irradiation. So most of you are going with the option E, some are guessing option A, and the correct answer will be only option A. Okay, so one thing you should know about the irradiation, I think what is irradiation is quite okay. So this is your radiation. Usually what kind of radiation we take when we talk about the food products? So there are three kind of radiation. First of all, your gamma radiation is there. Okay, then we take electron beam is there, and then there are X-rays. So only these three radiations are used when we are talking about the food products. Okay, these three are allowed. And when we talk about the gamma radiation, they are usually sourced by the cobalt 60. So this is the most common one when we are talking about the food. So what will happen once irradiation is there, you have exposed your food product to this gamma radiation. Now again the DNA will disrupt it. Because of that, what will happen, the pest will be removed, the sprout problem will be removed. If even the eggs and larvae are present, they will be removed. Okay, your product phytosanitary measure mein usually irradiation is very helpful, as you can see. And since this is a very high level condition, okay, and you need good control over that too. Now doses is the problem. So how much usually for vegetable and fruits, the most common doses that we talk about is the 2.25 kilogram. Okay, so this is the most common radiation. Then see, irradiation is also known as cold pasteurization. So I think everybody know what pasteurization is. That is when you are heating your product below 100 degrees Celsius, especially milk, in case of milk, because of which the eggs and the other products, even the let's say the insect that you have, the pest you have of the milk, that are getting removed. Okay. No problem, Sunny, that is quite okay. Some other elements are also used. Cesium is also used, but the most common one is the cobalt 60. Okay, so doses we can see 2.25 is there. Then again, the cold pasteurization this is, but if you do combine irradiation with temperature control, that is for storage, then you are giving a cap or map too, then processing condition are good too. So this is very beneficial and is known to be the best technology for the storage or long time storage of your product. Then one thing you should know that if we are talking about the food product, the irradiation is yet to be very popular. Okay, some people are hesitant while they use or consume the product that has been irradiated. That is why it is said that we should keep the radiation to 10 kilo Gray when we are talking about the food product and their processing to the irradiation. So that was your irradiation. Okay, now let's discuss another factor, that is ripening. So see, ripening is something that we need in some fruits and that we don't need in some fruits. In some fruit like papaya is there, those get harvested before they are ripe. Okay, so in that case we covered it by newspaper. We use different kind of technology. Why? For ripening. But if we talk about guava, in that case what we know, we want high respiration rate is there. So what we want to control the ripening. We want it to be raw for as long as there is. So ripening, you can see what will happen, the ethylene will produce, and this ethylene causes the change in the fruit. Okay, change, what kind of change? The organoleptic, the texture gets changes, the taste gets changes, the color gets changes. So these kinds of changes happening when we are talking about the ripening, and this is due to the effect of ethylene. So quite easy what you can do. If you want ripening, you can add ethylene. Okay, quite easy. If you don't want your product to be ripe, you will remove ethylene. So on these lines, what we do, there's a chemical that is 1-MCP, also C4HC is there, methyl cyclopropane is there. So what we do, this inhibits the action of ethylene. So at a very low condition, you mix it with water, and it releases the active that consumes the ethylene. Okay, so ethylene absorber, that is your MCP. Ethylene externally applied to enhance the ripening process. Okay, again this is quite easy. Take ethylene gas in a concentrated chamber, in a concentrated and controlled concentration, and what you'll do, you will expose your product to the ethylene gas and your product will get ripe. Okay, so this was the process. So you can see optimum ripening condition is given here. You can check that how much duration should be there, concentration and relative humidity conditions are given. So moving to so this is the question, that is your homework question. So we are talking about, since we have talked about the MCP2, okay, CIPC we have discussed too. So you will have to tell these are the toxins. We can't use everything or every chemical that we have on our hand. Let's say fungicide, doesn't mean we use every fungicide that is present on the earth on our food products. So some fungicide that we use or some other chemicals that we use in our fruit are categorized under the category GRAS, okay, GRAS category. So you will have to tell what does this GRAS stand for. So these are your options. Do let me know in the comment section too, okay, not in the chat section, comment section too. We will see कि last week के Saturday के आंसर किसने राइट दिया. So we will check the answers, people who have given the correct answer too. So this is your homework question. Okay, do let me know the answer in the comment section. Now let's move to the revision question. So revision question is, when the oxygen content of the soil is limited, the growth of the crop is affected. That we all know. So you will have to tell at what concentration, below what concentration the growth or the germination is completely stopped. So these are your options. You will have to tell. We have discussed this particular topic. Okay, when we talked about the plantation. So you'll have to tell what will be the correct answer. Do let me know that in the comment section too. I want jitne online aaye, at least those people should give the answer in the comment section too. Okay, so if now you have any query or any doubt regarding this topic or other thing, do let me know that in the chat section. I'll answer it. Okay, so again, do let me know that. So I'll just check who has given the correct answer of last week's question. Karishma, I don't have knowledge of the ESI lectures. Okay, but I'll talk to my team and I'll tell you. Okay, for now I think the lectures regarding your English descriptive is going on, so do attend that. I'll let you know. Okay, in tomorrow's class I'll let you know. Result you will see in the first week of October. Probably the result will be out. Okay, high chances are there. It can go 2 or 3 days later. Not in the chat section. Do let me know that in the comment section. Okay, not in the chat section. I'll see who has given the correct answer of the last week. So last week we studied about the conservation. Okay, and Batman has given the correct answer. Okay, Das has given the correct answer, and I do remember he was in the lecture too. And Albert also very good. Albert is very continuous and he always come in the lecture, and also he have provided the homework answer. Very good. So these are your option. So I think, okay, blanching, okay, somebody asked about the blanching and the hot water. See, in hot water, see, for blanching you should know that blanching itself is not a post harvest step. Okay, final post harvest step. Blanching, why we do blanching usually, let's say you have to freeze the product, or you'll have to finally dry your product, but you have time. So blanching, what we do, after your product has been completely harvested, as we said कि farm से new बिल्कुल fresh product आ रखा है, you want to control the enzymatic reaction that are going on, the insect that is insects that are there, ठीक है, the eggs, the mold that is there. So you want to control these factors too. So what you will do, for a very less time, for a very little time, what you will do, at a very high temperature you will expose your vegetables or fruits. Okay, and sometimes it is also done in the stream too. Okay, you can also take vapors or water, you will take for a very little time. Okay, Sunny, okay, no problem, do attend that and do answer the question that we have discussed, homework question and the revision question in the answer to. So blanching, you will have to understand blanching and drying, what is the way. When we talk about the hot water treatment, first of all, the time exposure is long in this one, then the blanching. I think I have given the data, so let's quickly take a look. Okay, so duration, you can see it is in minute, but when we talk about the blanching is less than a minute. Okay, so the exposure time is very low, the temperature is very high, even higher than this 55, 40, 46 too. So in some product, even the 75 degrees Celsius we take the temperature. Okay, temperature is very high, low, and the basic aim here is to control the insect and pest. In that case, we are also trying to control the enzymatic reaction that are going on in the product too. Okay, and it happen in different processes too. Okay, again we can, in the blanching we can take both hot water and vapors. So both can be taken in the blanching when we are talking about, but in the hot water we'll take hot water. This will act as a final step itself. Okay, sometimes you will just sell the product after that, but for the blanching, what we do, we'll go for freezing and others too. Sunny, do let me know that in the comments section too, so that I know you are revising, not in the chat section. And if somebody has given the correct answer, I like the comment so that everybody know. Usually I won't be discussing the correct answer kya hai, because see, we have discussed the revision question, and homework question is something I want you to do the research on. But if somebody get confused कि दो option में से समझ नहीं आ रहा, so I like the answer that has given the appropriate answer. So that was it for the all. So those of you again who are confused about the result, first week of October. Okay. So first week of the October that we are expecting the result to be out, but don't wait for the result. रिजल्ट आ जाए उसके बाद प्रिपरेशन करेंगे, दैट इज अ वेरी डेंजरस स्ट्रैटेजी. ओके, सो बिकॉज यू विल गेट वेरी लेस टाइम आफ्टर द रिजल्ट इज आउट, एंड जितना रिजल्ट लेट होगा द लेसर द टाइम यू विल गेट. अगर रिजल्ट जल्दी आ जाता है यू विल गेट मोर टाइम, अगर रिजल्ट लेट होता है यू विल गेट लेस टाइम. सो डू प्रिपेयर फॉर योर एग्जामिनेशन. ओके, सो दैट वाज इट फॉर योर लेक्चर. आई होप एवरीथिंग इज क्लियर. So thank you so much for attending the lecture. Okay, we will end the lecture here. And if you like the video, do let me know that in the comment section too. If you want the PDF, you can join our Telegram channel too. Okay, and YouTube channel. I hope you all have subscribed. So that was it for the lecture. Thank you so much. And now let's